Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm Jameson Brink, and today I'm bringing you back into the fold, I guess, with this new video. It's been a little bit, but I bought the Xbox Ally X. Loved how it felt, and then returned it. Not a bad device, but there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna have to talk about with this. It's not a hate piece. It's the most comfortable handheld I've ever used. Comfort only gets you so far. So let's talk about why this incredible device didn't earn a permanent spot in my setup, why it didn't beat out the Steam Deck OLED fully. So straight up, this thing feels like an Xbox controller grew a screen. Perfect grips, balanced weight, clicky buttons. It feels great in the hands. It really is good. The D-pad and joysticks feel premium, no cheap plastic vibes to an extent, but if you, it's similar to the Ally and Ally X and a lot of their other Ally devices, which can seem a little cheap on the surface, but it's good. But once we get past the controls and everything, you notice the screen in the middle of the controls and start to feel deja vu from the first Ally device with the 7-inch screen, 1080p, and 120 hertz. Like, it is the same screen, albeit I like the screen itself, the quality and everything, even though the text on it and the screen size is a little behind. I don't mind playing games on it until you get to parts where there's text that pops up or like details that you want to just be a little bigger. And it's crazy how far just half-inch can go. The Steam Deck OLED is 7.4 inches. The Switch 2 is 7.9 inches, give or take. I'm sure people can correct me in the comments. The Legion Go 2 is 8.8, and so forth and so forth. Like, the newer devices coming out are usually a little larger or like an inch larger than the 7-inch. And to be fair, they rebranded the Ally X to essentially just be an Xbox. They could have done some, innovation maybe. Times said this is one of the most innovative products of the year, which is crazy. But they could have done some innovation and actually added in like an 8-inch screen, and it probably wouldn't increase in size. They could make it more bezel-less and stuff. Now, there's reasons maybe not to do that, but this is a big kicker for me. And I knew what I was getting because I have the Ally. So when I bought this, I knew that the screen wasn't going to be exactly what I wanted, so I was hoping the other parts would make up for that. What is the point of having the best controller, best ergonomic, decent design, and the fastest handheld specific APU if that screen is too damn small? Well, performance is actually pretty good. It's a secondary part of this whole thing. The performance on this is going to be probably the best I've seen. Now, it's game to game. It really depends on the game you're playing and the other devices, how they're... It's weird how you can have a Z2 Extreme device, even though this one has the AI cores, have different results, like with the Legion Go 2. So, that being said, it could be partially that those results were done without the Windows game mode that Xbox brings into Windows. It could be that, but all I know is that you get the best performance technically. When you're running this at 35 TDP, and in comparison to any other device that can ramp up its TDP pretty high, because you're going to burn through your battery, which is fine though for docked mode. Like, I'm okay with it. I actually want the Steam Deck to come out with a higher TDP for like a docked mode and have better cooling for that, because when it's docked, I'm fine with higher power draws because I want to push a little bit higher resolution when it's on a TV or monitor that's bigger. So fine with that. And it's actually one of the reasons I got this was to dock more often, and we'll get into docking a little later. Yeah, it is not a huge difference, and in fact, it can fall behind with some other devices, even Z1 Extreme tests, the Z2 Extreme can. So 35, I wouldn't buy it because of that. If you're going to be maxing this thing out and you already have a Z1 Extreme, probably just stick to that. Now, if you're playing this on the go and really want good battery life, this 17 TDP option that's on the device is amazing. It does a really good job of being able to run all the games, for the most part, at 30 FPS or higher. And when I say higher, I really mean it. I've slapped some games down on at 17 and gotten 50, 60 frames per second that are typically demanding on the Steam Deck. Once again, the crazy thing about handhelds in this whole world of optimized, unoptimized games is that it really depends on what game you're going to be playing, because the 15 TDP on the Steam Deck, because it's the way they optimize through Steam OS and everything, it can get really good performance for such a low TDP and old chipset, and in comparison to I think this Xbox LAX can be similar. So it's hard to say if this is like the end all be all device for everyone. But I think if you want to play modern games on the go and want to have the highest chance of being able to play those at a decent frame rate, the Xbox LAX beats it. Like, hands down, that is your device if that is what you really want and you don't mind the 7-inch screen. It really is. Like, on the go gaming, this is going to be the best one for you. Bar you get like a kill switch or something like that and throw it into your bag and it fits in your bag. I mean, it's bulky, but I've taken my Steam Deck and my iPad together on flights and stuff like that. It's not hard to fit the stuff in if you really wanted to. So yeah, and even the silent mode, the 13 TDP, it ran fairly decent with some games. So I'll have to say, like, I really like the device. I really think we need to improve the software on the device for these TDP ratings and just say, hey, I want to kind of auto scale more depending on what kind of frame rate I'm trying to hit. But, you know, that's hopefully down the road, and hopefully these companies will pick up on that and improve the software and the balancing. But, you know, no company's really doing a good job of doing that yet. So, and if I'm wrong, you can let me know in the comments, but I haven't seen it yet. Thermals, running games at 30 TDP and maxing out the settings really got the fans going, but they were never louder than the speakers or the Steam Deck maxed out. Like, the twin fans did a good job of cooling the device. I was shocked at how well the cooling was in this device that I just could not hear it over my games. I was impressed with the Steam Deck. It can get a little noisy the harder you push it and the longer, but even that is not that bad. Like, the speakers, I can still hear everything if I don't have headphones in. It's not bad compared to some other devices where it has a really high-pitched whine to it, and even some older Steam Decks have that. So I will definitely say the twin cooling fans that were on this and how it was done, I'd like to see that move over to the next Steam Deck, because looking at the internals on the Xbox LIX, there's plenty of room in there, and I really think if Steam Deck just position things just right, maybe they could do the same thing. But once again, they also have touchpads in there. So benchmarks wise, Cyberpunk once again shows how demanding and how unoptimized this is for AMD devices, as opposed to, like, let's say NVIDIA, or heck, the Switch 2 with the DLSS looks really good with Cyberpunk. With this device, it still looks good. You can balance it out to have it will look much better than the Steam Deck, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a complete win for handhelds, but that's also a CD Projekt Red issue, and their engine's not the best engine. It will be interesting to see how they optimize things on the Unreal 5 engine. We'll see how well they do. Control and Hogwarts, depending on the settings you put in, like, it ran well. Control, I have it at the end of the game where it has a lot of stuff going on, and 60 frames with, like, medium settings and a lot of stuff set to a decent visual skew. Even going down into 17 dB was not bad looking for this device in that game. And so it definitely would say Control runs drastically better on this device as opposed to Steam Deck. Steam Deck, you can still get away with it, but you'll get drops and you'll get weird little issues with Control on the Steam Deck. It's not perfect on the Steam Deck, where it felt much more forgiving on the Xbox LAX. Even if it had a little bit of dips, you can always just limit the frame rate. Then with Hogwarts, you go to the town, like the I can't remember because I haven't beat the game yet, but after like a few hours of playing, you go to the local town. by Hogwarts, and on the Steam Deck, it drops very quickly and it can be laggy. And if you can get past that part, it's fine. People play the game all the time on Steam Deck. It's always bothered me though. On the Ally X or the Xbox Ally X, honestly on both, it runs fairly well. And so like these are just a couple of games I wanted to pull up. And there are more games that I tried with this. And there was only one game that I found a little problematic on it, and it's the game I always have to keep on trying because my wish is to have Dead Space on the go, like the Dead Space remake. I could always play the old ones on the Steam Deck, but Dead Space remake, it still, even though I could get it to high, like 40, 50s frame rate, it still had a little skipping issues, which I'm really wondering what's wrong with it, because if I play it on my desktop, it runs fine. If I play it on any handheld device, there's always these little issues, and it could be my save maybe, but it's in the part of the game where I know it tends to have issues with handhelds. And so playing through it, I was still shocked that it would skip and have some issues. It could have been the event system that's built into the game. It's more or less they needed to optimize just a little bit more for the for handhelds and for lower end devices. But yeah, it's very bizarre, and I just wanted to take note that like even with the Xbox Ally X's like specs, it still didn't overcome that, as opposed to other device, like other full gaming setups like desktops. Like, but then again, I played it on 3090, so I don't know, maybe that's it. Now here comes the real reason I didn't keep the device: docking. And no, that's not a Mormon docking joke, and that's a fairly old joke. I couldn't get the device to connect to my TV or monitor in Xbox game mode. I've seen other people be able to do it with their docks. I have multiple docks. I've used it with the Ally, like the original Z1 Extreme, and didn't have any issues. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's weird. In order to really see what is going on, though, with the video output options, you have to dive 3 to 4 layers deep into the Windows display settings, where they just didn't help out for me. I have used my Ally Z1 Extreme with these docks, so it's got to be the game mode or something else going on with at least maybe the device I had, where I had the power supply that it came with hooked into my dock, and I had tried multiple docks, and I tried it with my TV and my monitor, and it just wouldn't connect.
It's not working. Why is it not working?
It could have been the power supply. I know but I mean, 65 watts should be plenty to drive it. I know with the Steam Deck, it sometimes can be that is the issue, where the if you plug anything extra into it, or if there's any extra stuff that comes with your dock, it can suck power and maybe not work properly in docked mode. But I don't think that's the case. I either royally screwed up trying to do it, which is, plugging in a few things, or the Xbox game mode for Windows just is not ready. So because of those issues, I was hoping to dock this with an eGPU in the game mode to play my games on a big monitor or my TVs, potentially even build out into 2 gaming setups in my living room and in my office to be able to play my games and be able to swap between the eGPU and just have, and then on the go. I was kind of like, it's my dream setup. Still getting there. It's still a dream, because if the docking was having issues, for me at least, I was not going to trust it. With how much trouble I was having with the docks, I just wasn't going to slap down more money on an eGPU and the whole setup, should not have it work, and to also pay $1,000 for it not to kind of be what I want it to be. That being said, I'm sure someone could get it working if I really wanted to work towards it. It's just every time any inconvenience popped up, the $1,000 price tag was in the back of my mind. If I would have gotten this for free, that wouldn't have been there. But I went the consumer route and bought this thing. And speaking of, $1,000, let's get into some value and comparisons on this thing. Now, for the nail in the coffin reason that I took the device back, it was the $1,000 for a similar spec Ally X. Yeah, the APU is newer, but in the past, whenever a new device comes, or a new APU, CPU, GPU, we didn't see them go up in price. What we saw was the new one replace the old one at a similar price. So getting the Xbox Ally X and having it be more money than the Ally X, and that not even being discontinued really, is just really bizarre. And it kind of makes me think that This was just about money for Xbox. They've been upping their price on all their hardware and everything. And I kind of originally thought it was tariffs, but even Game Pass is being up, their price is being increased. It's just with all these devices, all these subscriptions, everything in life going up in price. I just didn't want another thing going up in price. And I guess maybe this is very situational. And if this didn't happen with all their other price hikes, I wouldn't be so concerned to buy into a device that's $1,000. The controllers and slightly faster AP did not warrant a $200 price hike from OG LAX when it was released, which even that has gone up mostly due to tariffs. But if the rumors are to be believed, then Microsoft had a study/research conducted to determine the price of the Xbox LAX and decided to price it at $1,000. This is getting into laptop territory. This is starting to get to the price of, if you play a little bit more, you're going to get a dedicated GPU on your mobile device. Yes, you can't hold it in your hands. It's not as portable, but handhelds should stay below $1,000 with a few exceptions of some outliers like Legion Go 2 and some other devices where they feel like they're just supposed to be outliers to where if you wanted everything, you wanted the all-in-one device, okay, you can get into the thousands. But the Xbox LAX is not that. It only comes with better ergonomics, which is kind of a spit in the face to consumers to say, hey, we molded this plastic different, so you need to pay $1,000 or $100 more than the LAX. It's just feeling like the handhelds are pricing us out to where it's just not really worth it and just sticking with a Steam Deck and then maybe just getting a new PC. And I didn't want to go this route, but they're making me think this way. Also, comes with the middle tier of Game Pass for 3 months. Not the higher one, the middle tier, which gives you 200 games, but there were still a lot of games I could not access when navigating the UI. Speaking of that, they won't let you forget the Game Pass is a thing, and they want you to buy it for sure. Like, there are 2, maybe 3 tabs on the side tabs on the Xbox home, like just the Xbox app, Game Pass, cloud streaming, and some other stuff to where it just felt like a really big push for Game Pass, which I've used it in the past. I've liked it for its priced to what you get. But with every streaming service, they're going to up those prices. And there gets a point where if I'm watching something on a streaming service and they up it, okay, I can hurry up and binge something and then I don't have save files. With Game Pass, they will tie your save files to that, and it makes it really hard to try to get those save files back if you buy the game later on, not on Game Pass. So you're locked into that, and that alone probably warrants another video to just stay away from Game Pass and just buy your game straight out, because you're just going to get locked into the whole system and you're going to have to keep on using it. And for me, I do not like being controlled by my software, by stuff that I buy and everything. I don't want to have to feel like, oh yeah, I have to keep on paying for this Game Pass, albeit I think still a good deal, but I don't want to be hijacked in the future with price increases, and I don't trust Xbox and Microsoft at this point to not do that. If you remain in the full screen Xbox experience instead of the better big picture mode or just Armory Crate, you will get bugged with Game Pass and cloud gaming tabs, like I mentioned, and browsing games really shows how much they want you to upgrade to the highest tier Game Pass. It got really annoying, and it kept me going back to Steam big picture mode or just to, Epic Games or whatever else, just some other launcher, which I will have to say, that is a huge nicety that they included those launchers in it, where like Valve and the Steam Deck doesn't have that option. I get why, partially because Epic Games and just, I'll say it, they're kind of assholes when it comes to Linux. They don't want to support it. They're kind of bitter about Steam, and so they just probably wouldn't work with them to make sure that their launcher was on there. And plus, I don't know if Steam would want it. It's a competitor, and Steam Deck technically is a loss leader, which I still don't know if I believe that, wants control over that ecosystem. So it is nice that the Xbox LAX has multiple. Even though they want you in their ecosystem, they still give you the option. I don't know if that will last forever, but at least it's there and it's up front. They could have started out saying, no, it's not supported, but no, and it could also be just the Ally software, like the Armory Crate comes with a lot of launchers, or at least the ability to install the launchers. My launchers were installed on the Xbox LAX, so it wasn't too bad. I could go on about how much I like this and how much I don't like this device. I do think it's a good device. I do think if you don't own a handheld PC, you should buy this, and you want one. But if you already have one, then maybe not. Now, you might be shocked that I would recommend this device to anyone at this point, but it really is a good device, especially if you don't care about the screen size so much, docking or other small things, which I'm sure most will be fixed in future patches, except for the screen. You should get this if you don't already have a decent handheld PC, and even the Steam Deck is great to stick with for now. If you're a big Xbox fan, just a little warning, if you plan on using your Xbox and all those games that you might have on your Xbox console that you have bought through the Xbox system that are Xbox specific, it will not play on here. At least not yet. There are speculations and there are rumors going around that Microsoft and Xbox are making an emulation system for older devices, maybe for the Xbox ecosystem. So games that you might own over there, you can start playing on the device. There's other rumors of them working with Steam to make it so that if you bought the game on Xbox, that you could play it back and forth. There's a lot of stuff going on, but unless it's actually here now, I can't recommend it being that way. Like, meaning if you're an Xbox fan and you want to play PC games and get into the PC world, this is great. You're going to get a better deal on your games. It's all around a good way to go. But if you already have an Ally X or just an Ally, I have a regular Ally, then it's not worth it. I definitely think just stick with it and wait for one more generation, as we are just so close. That being said, if you're playing games on the go a lot and there's just a game that you want to play at a decent frame rate that the Steam Deck doesn't hold up to, get it. I don't think it's a bad device. I just don't think it's an amazing device. I don't think it's an innovative device like Time does. I think it is barely iterative, but it's still worth buying if you don't have something. So that is my final take on this whole thing. Let me know what you guys think below in the comments. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar, and to continue coming back. And just let me know what you think of this, because I want to make more videos, and every little comment helps me, I guess, get encouraged to do it or something. Like, I like doing this stuff, but I need to get back into it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Later.